with this draft. So, let's come on. Waiting for my notification. There we go. Now everybody else will be getting their thing here. Get in here. Okay, guys. We will get this drafting going. Okay. Starting this mock draft.
Carolina Panthers now on
we are on the clock. First pick. What do the Panthers do? Well, if they actually had it. Let's see what the offers are real quick. What's an offer for a first overall pick look like these days? What are these kids offering? 2 1s and a 6. Move back 3 picks. Add a second. These are terrible. Move back 1 and pick up a 3rd. Like, I moved up to first because I wanted to make sure I got the player I wanted to get. Like, these are ass trades. Unless you're flipping me like 2 firsts and a baller, what do we got to talk about? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Look at these horrible offers. We're going to go take our boy, our OG. Got a minute to do it. Oh, who are we taking? Who are we taking? Well, who's the best guy on the board, right? You got to take the best guy on the board. That's what smart teams do. They don't waste picks. They don't get all career whatever. They go take the best player on the board. It should be Walter Nolan. It's probably a pretty darn good tackle there, especially, top 5 right tackle. I mean, if you're going to take a right tackle that high, I mean, probably. Well, I mean, year 1, obviously, you'd go throw him at that. We got good pieces on the board, but you got to go Walter Nolan. He's the ultimate piece on the board here. Even if we know that Kevin Bird's a hell of a QB, we got to go take legit good 82 acceleration, especially great for T-tackle. Gets right off. The develop will get real good. We should have probably moved over and checked out those skills for you, but hey. I don't know.
Now on the clock, the Rams.
We got Walter Nolan. He was a beast, good player. Darren Parks, the right tackle, goes second to the Vikings. What a surprise. We got a major guy who plays in a purple uniform going to a team that plays in a purple uniform. That's a great move from Washington. there goes Jeffries, the Ball State quarterback. So for those who are not aware, this is for next year's draft, but this is getting you a little heads up on who's probably going to be going and what we're looking at just going into the season. So a little bit of preview here, a little bit of change of pace from the typical who's going where? Kevin Bird, South Alabama. Can you imagine a South Alabama QB going in top 5? We'll see what happens. These are, this is like that next wave of kind of like hyped players, but I have no idea who's going to go where, and it's all going to come down to how they play this season, really.
The Houston Texans are now on the clock.
Yeah, Aldridge, that's a good player. That would have been the other top kind of piece. So we got a comment here. We'll check that in a second. Oh, wow. Texans rushed on up there and took Minnesota's Damian Robertson, defensive end. Another real key piece. Some real good stuff around here. A lot of real good pieces here. Really interesting to see how this draft's kind of playing out for us. Stephen Woody, there you go. That's the Tulane guy who we figured to be pretty good baller when we looked at his stats. I don't think there's anybody left that's really worth, really leveraging a lot to trade up for at this point. Especially with what we need. I mean, we don't. I mean, Westerman's
On the
pretty
clock
much a
now,
mutant of a
it's
player.
the
I would
Tennessee
trade up to go take
Titans.
Westerman. If he didn't just get taken, I might do that. But he just did. So good for him. Congratulations. He went 8th overall. We don't pick till 23, so we would have had to give up basically the rest of our major draft capital here, and that's not really what you want to do if you're trying to build a team. You just got to be smart.
Next
Sometimes
up,
sit and
it's
wait
the
back.
Broncos
You strike
on the
when the
clock.
opportunity's there. But honestly, fascinating to see how it's playing out. So the Clemson QB goes to the Titans there. So they went QB again. So I guess they don't believe in Will Levis. Tremone
now on the
Nails
clock.
to the Broncos here from Oak State. Pretty Broncos. That's pretty close proximity. But some really interesting stuff so far.
Now on the clock, the Texans.
Texans are back on the board. After Steve Patrick from Georgia went. Slowly crawling
With
towards
the
their
next
next pick.
selection,
Team Burgess,
the New York
Texas
Jets.
goes. Okay.
With the next selection,
Jamie
it's
Batista.
the Washington Commanders.
All right. I'm going to let these picks kind of roll for a second, and you'll hear me when we come right back to our next draft pick here when we wrap around here. Just a handful here.
The Las Vegas Raiders now on the clock.
Ooh, another Texas wide receiver. Pretty surprising. A lot of key pieces there. I don't believe the Texas QB was in the draft, so I believe he should from last year, so he should be here. But Ewers.
The Chicago
be available.
Bears are on the
Another
clock
Texas
now.
player, J.J. Jeffries. Interesting. Real good tackle there. That's a key piece. I might have wanted to take a strike towards taking him, but we're going to see who falls to 23. You know, let some other teams have some players.
The Minnesota Vikings now on the clock. The Seattle Seahawks are now on the clock.
I'm going to try this in real life. They would never in a million years even consider this. Pretty close. This should be enough to flip it here. A 5 and a 6. Are you kidding me? Screw you, man. Are you kidding me? Okay, pick 100. That should be enough. Get over your bad self. Oh, I'm gonna hit you with some. Are you kidding? Come on. They're like, no, it's gotta be at least like one pick higher than that. Are you like, if this goes through, it's like,
ladies and gentlemen,
wow, you got all messy over a handful of picks in the
traded.
7th round of next year. Like, are you serious? But we got the pick. We get to make our move now. You're like, why would you do that? Why would I move some capital that's probably not even going to make my team for, you know, making sure I take a player that I want to take in this draft? You can. If you can move just what I moved and get what you want there, absolutely, you do it. I think Peel absolutely was the guy I was looking at here. I'm pretty sure he's as sure come. Briscoe's a good tight end. I do like the idea of taking Peel here, though. Bounds, good backer. Bean, good backer. But Bean, he's kind of been falling here. He's got the motor, and he doesn't get flagged. He's got a lot to his arsenal. He's got to work with a lot of his tools and stuff here. But he's good on the acceleration, great speed. Real should be our guy here. Kind of mixed across the board in terms of a lot of that. But if he's star, it's worth it. So take Bean.
On the clock now, the Houston Texans.
We whiffed, but he's fast. So he's at least going to make our team in terms of, you know, he's not going to get beat too much. But we whiffed. We will trade back up with the Texans here because we got to get that tackle. We made the wrong move, but that's okay. You're going to do that sometimes. Texans, pick 19. We're going to give you some things that you want. Pick 35, and we'll give you a pick. I mean, we're moving up decent amount of spots here. If you could flip us back some late round picks here, that'd be great. Okay, we're not even in the same ballpark apparently. Moving up that much is really going to cost us. Okay. I'm doing it for a tackle, so I might as well flip out a tackle. How about that? Let's see how much value McKenzie has to him. Okay, not a lot. But now we're in a spot where maybe that's enough. At least in the ballpark. Okay. Love how going from very early second to late first is going to cost us everything here. Really? I make one bad pick, and then it's like, yeah, if you want to get back in, it's going to cost you. I have the capital. I don't care. At this point, I really would like a 7th back at least. Can you give me both of these at least? And I at least feel like I'm getting a couple picks back. Wow, they're really going to be like, nope. Please take that. Are you kidding me? Going to be like that? Well, then we're going to send you some other player. Like, are you kidding me? I'm going to hack the damn system again. Like, fuck you, man. Okay, Fehr Strong. That's a good player. How much value we get for that? Really? Okay. Pick 41 in them. I don't want to give you 35 anymore. Really? Dude, this is some bullshit. Oh, you know what? Late first next year. Come on, you got to be willing to do this. Are you shitting me? Okay, we're going to get demonic on you then. pick 22 and McKenzie. That should be fucking fair. Take that deal and run it to the bank, man. Come on, man. This is some... Come on. No, no, no. There's no way there. There's no way. There's no way. Yeah, I already figured they weren't going to give me that. So let's go. Hey, give me those two late ones, and I'll take those Flyers. Come on. Take that deal, man. You're evil.
The next pick.
Thank you. Finally. And we're going to flip it out for probably a tackle who's about the same here. But we're going to right ourselves here. Yeah, that should be the right player. At least should be a player that's pretty dang good. We're going to get the tackle. We're going to get ourselves back here. Peel, a left tackle with those kind of marks. He's got motor and good discipline. A awareness. Solid elite at a lot of the key pieces there. Great strength, and he moves good. He's not the fastest or anything like that, but he's solid with his speed at least. But his change of direction, real key. He might be a guard. He had bad stamina, but maybe he's a guard. That should be a good player. Yes! Thank you. Oh, thank you. Okay. That's how you fix yourself. You have to nail that pick. If you go through all that bullshit, and I flipped out a first next year that I have no idea where that's going to be. Could be a high first. Who cares? I probably am not even going to play too much past this, honestly, because I think the next Madden thing's available through the EA access that I have. So I'll just say fuck it with this and after this mock draft. But I hope you're enjoying yourself, enjoying this mock draft. It's mock draft season, and I'm Conceited Yates, and you're having a fun time here at Field of Dreams. Those who know. We will resume this. We're back to it. We got those picks in the beginning of the second here. After the first round here, we will just kind of do our picks, but I just want you to kind of get an idea who the next wave of players here are next year. We nailed our pick there with Peel, which very glad
on the clock now. It's the Los Angeles
to
Chargers.
have that like redemption and get the player we really needed to get from this draft. Okay, Underwood from Notre Dame, that's a good player. That'll be a real good player for Chargers. Jim Harbaugh like that. And the Chargers back on the clock here. Who's Jim Harbaugh taking again? Jim says, does anybody want this pick? Nick Bounds from Stanford. Oh, that is definitely a Harbaugh pick. That is, I'm excited to see how that all plays out there. I think Jim and the Chargers could be really dangerous. Because, holy crap, Justin Herbert's a hell of a quarterback. Jim's obviously a great coach. Got Ramirez going in the Niners here, building up on their line here. I think the Niners will probably be a Super Bowl champion by the time we roll around the draft. I'm at least very optimistic and hopeful. Brock Purdy better play the best game of his life.
The New England Patriots
Jay Fredrickson to the Seahawks from USC. That's a good player. But you never really know with these players and prospects and stuff. It all matters like where you go, where you land. You know, do you develop? Do you come in? Do you play well when you get your chances? Do you make the most of your time? Like,
the Green Bay Packers,
that's tough. Briscoe's a good player. Kind of was interested in him. Good for him to go to the Patriots. Probably turn into a pretty good piece there. Probably wouldn't even play on my team. I mean, my team's so stacked here. But honestly, we're ending this after the draft anyway. This is just kind of a deep dive and look at the draft and a look at all that stuff. And I hope that all of you are enjoying yourselves here today. I hope that you're really enjoying this draft. Max Baker from UCF. That could be an interesting player. We'll see how he goes. I mean, you got to really ball out at some of
With
those
the
smaller
next
schools,
selection,
especially now with
the Lions are on
supposedly
the
the Big Ten and SEC going to be kind of this new super league. Marcus Black, LSU. Really interesting. Because they just signed a joint a joint league agreement thing. Like it's interesting. Rayshawn Wiggins from Oklahoma. It's a key piece, big guy up front. Lions got themselves a nice player. We'll see who's around here for us to draft when it rolls around our time on the clock. But I don't really want to trade too much more. No. Donovan Wilbur. Unless there was just like one guy who just jumped off the thing, but Ball jumped off the thing to me, and we whiffed on that. You got to get a star if you're trading up and all that. Kruger. I mean, you have to look at a lot of the trades and stuff. C.J. Bishop looks like a good player. We know he's a good player. Keaton. So we got to go see who just went. We don't want to miss that. Dan Lang from Auburn just went. Interesting. That's a good safety prospect. Okay, Larry Keaton just went. Okay, unfortunately, we're going to miss out on a really nice left tackle there. Trading up might have been nice, might have been the key thing, but, Carolina Panthers, are they going to make good moves, or is David Tepper going to say... Well, I mean, he would definitely trade up. If there was a key piece they thought, I don't think there's any way they'd sit back. Greg Hunter, Boise State D-tackler. Okay, good, more kind of speed rush kind of D-tackle there. We'll see how he play out there. But, Buffalo might be able to really use that as key piece. Maybe kicks out to end. Who do the Chiefs go with? They get Penn State, Kerry Drummond, middle linebacker. Okay, really interesting selection there. Kansas City always needing to load up on defense there, especially in this new era of the less than stellar Mahomes passing game. But we'll see. We'll see how that game goes. I mean, I'm sure that they're not going to just show up and lay down and die or anything in this game. Kruger's on the board. We are trading up to take him. I think he's definitely the best player on the board. Bishop, real good too. Ken Sheldon's also a good tackle prospect here. And I think Bohannon could be a good, probably more guard than tackle, but that's a good player too. There's some good pieces still here on the board. And I'm trading up for Kruger here. That's key. If you can get a good player and you're the Panthers, you got to take the player. You know what I'm saying? You don't sit back and hope that he's there because he's going right here to the Rams. Rams really need to load up at that linebacker core for sure. And I'm sure if we go here, it'll probably even... No, that D-tackle, you kidding me? Could you imagine? Did Aaron Donald retire? Could you imagine the Rams are like, we need a D-tackle. That's the most important position we need. Are you kidding me? Okay. We are still making the trade. That's pretty funny. Oh, man. Should be able to move. Do something weird like this. I don't know. We're going to give them... Yeah, Pat Surtain. You know what? Fuck it. Can we move that? Can we make that work? We're going up 2 spots. And dropping 10 spots and going... I mean, is that fair?
There has been...
Yeah, let's go. Okay. I mean, there's high potential for them that 5th could move up and be a higher value, but we're talking about a 5th round pick here. We got an extra 6 this year, and we're definitely getting our guy. If you can get your guy, who cares about some random 5th round pick? Obviously, the Rams know about random 5th round picks, so we probably just gave them a Hall of Famer. But we're going to go get our guy here and make sure we get a real good player. Oh, yeah. Lone Wolf Collab knows you got to take the best players on the board. Yeah, and that's the name of the coach, but it's also the name of the one channel. Look at this list here. Physical player. Delivers bone-crushing hits. I'm going to do my best chef there. Savvy defender with the ball in the air. Has a motor that runs to the whistle. Often looks to rip the ball from runners. Lacks discipline, resulting in avoidable penalties. Who cares about that? He's a little rough. Tough. Let's go, boy. He's a Sean Strickland at backer. Are you kidding me? We need that. Loves to utilize a spin as a counter move. Has a swift arm over move in his arsenal. Will utilize power and leverage to bowl through pass protectors. So he's literally got everything in the arsenal you want. He's got B's and A's there. Even if his zone coverage isn't all that good, who gives a crap? Let's look at these measurables here. Okay, he's the strongest backer here. Strongest outside. His broad drump's crazy. And he's at least solid or good at all the other measurables. I mean, yeah, he should be the guy. I don't see anything here that we don't like. A, pursuit. B, recognition. I mean, some of these things, there's a large variance, but I think we are drafting.
It's now the Vikings' turn.
Not a star, but a probably real good player. Look at those numbers are real decent, especially at the top of the second round here. We got ourselves the best player left on the board, and that's what the Panthers need to do in the second round there. They need to get themselves a player because there is no way the Panthers have a chance if they don't come out of this draft with a starter. If they can't get a starter in this draft, this team's screwed. I mean, at that point, you got to be like, is anybody desperate? Does anybody want to flip us like 5 firsts for Bryce Young? I know nobody's that dumb, especially seeing the way he played. But if you want to take, if you got Gandalf and you can take Frodo on a quest to Mordor and you think you can get the ring to Mount Doom, you know, come on in, trade for Bryce Young. Give us Caleb Williams. How about that? I mean, in this game, that's where I went. Jabari Irving from Vanderbilt. I guess clearly the best player Vanderbilt's had in a long time. Not very good recently. Ken Sheldon goes, oh no. He wasn't there for us to get. Probably should have traded up. Probably should have traded back up. Ken Sheldon goes to the Rams, and they get him where we originally were there. But they got themselves a real good tackle.
And now on the clock, the Minnesota Vikings.
Whitfield's a good guard from Louisville, one of the best guard prospects here. Rolling around in the Vikings, we'll see where they go with this pick. Unfortunately, Panthers might not come out as. Oh no! Was Bohannon the other guy? I think I said, right? Was Bohannon the other one I said? Oh man. No, Bishop's there and he's still there. I gotta pause this ish. No. Please hear my trade. Hear my trade. Texans, listen to my trade, okay? Listen to my trade. Oh man, you have a chance to get a starter or a starter caliber player. You make the trade. Because if nobody else around there is somebody you want, you got to make sure you get your guy. And if you're the Panthers, you need players. I mean, Panthers need players like people need water. You know? And come on, Texans, we can make a deal here. Come on. We're moving up 3 picks. Let's give you a nice, comfy 7th rounder next year, and we just call it a day.
Ladies and gentlemen,
did they really take that? Okay. Okay. Oh, Texans are like, yeah, we'll definitely not get the guy we want, and we'll let you have him for a 7th round projected 220 overall. And they're like, hey, I think we can get Brock Purdy there, though. And then they will get Brock Purdy there, and then they win the trade. And it's a very sad day for everyone involved. But Panthers, you gotta go take a talent that's going to transform your ball club here. And C.J. Bishop from Washington's a hell of a player. You can get him up here. That's like a Jack Campbell pick of what the Lions just did. Floyd, Interesting pick there. We're going to just go take our guy. There's no reason to even consider this. What are we doing? CJ Bishop is the guy on the board left that you would want to take. So he's physical. He delivers bone-crushing hits. He's a monster up front. He can get up in there, and you can send him on a blitz if you need to because he can rip and tear and get on throw. But he's also a badass mother who has a motor that runs through the whistle. Often looks to just tear it away, and he gets on in there. He's avoiding penalties too, which is great. Zone coverage leaves a lot to be desired, but if he's an A tackle, A pursuit, A block shed, I mean, we got a dog here. Look at these numbers here. I mean, he's top 5 in everything you'd want to see here. And great measurements pretty much all around. He's only here because of the supposed drop in positional value of the middle linebacker and the running back and that. And I think that's a load of crap. I think if you're drafting, it's different than giving out contracts. And when you got to figure out who you're paying and who you're not paying, you deal with that when you get there. But if you have an all-time great player, or you can get a great player or an all-pro or a Pro Bowl or whatever it is, or a coin flip, what the hell are you doing flipping a coin? You take the great-ass player. Didn't get star, but look, 87 speed, 88 acceleration. This guy's a real good player. Skills across the board, dang good. And even if he can just be a real good starter in the league, that's what the Panthers need right now. So that's a key piece. But a middle linebacker with number 90. But he really didn't have maybe you kick him to outside or end, or we can look at all kinds of things. But interesting piece. Get on with it.
The Panthers are
all
on
right.
the clock.
Max Fletcher just went from A&M. We're going to keep going. Best on the board. See, if that would have just been Georgia, I mean, you'd have to take Devin Church there. But he's a high riser. That doesn't always mean good things. Sometimes it means, he just performed well. But good ball in the air, motor. Anytime you get all these notes, those are usually good things. But he does get penalized. Man coverage, if he stinks at that, we'll just move him to safety. Elite jumping, I mean, not just going to be able to chuck it over his head. That's nice. Damn, 32-inch vertical jump. Damn, that's pretty special. Good enough. I mean, maybe he's a safe. I think you take him because I think worst case he's a safety.
The Tennessee Titans are now
Oh, hell yeah. And he's hidden, so that means he's a star development. So we absolutely nailed the pick. So we got Devin Church. Worst case, we'll move him to safety, but he's probably a nickel. I'm thinking he's a nickel corner. That's a real good pick. And that's exactly the kind of piece the Panthers would really need to build around here. So you get yourself a real good nickel corner. You can come right in. Look at that block shed. I mean, we're going to have to really look at what his overall is when we get done with this. But the press like that, A press, A tackle. This is a nickel. And he's the best nickel in this draft. Holy crap. This is the probably best pick we will make all day. That was nailing the pick. But if you can get, your Brian Branch or, whoever it is, your great nickel or, third safety or whatever, contextualization it is from a defensive standpoint for you. So many cool things. That was a great pick. I'm so happy. We nailed it.
It's the Carolina
a lot of people say positional value-wise, like, why would you take a nickel? What, in the third round? That's absolutely where you would take it. High third. Nail that pick. Get the best nickel of the draft. Walk away building the team here. We've got a good squad. We've nailed this draft. This is a rebuild like no other. Terrence Green from Georgia. That's a good player. He's fallen. I mean, I don't like what those ratings there are saying, but we will take a look at him. But we're in the 4th round, you know. You're not going to just be finding obvious, easy options anymore, you know. We got some interesting choices for later in this round. We got a few other picks. Do think Larry Hoskins, that's pretty underrated maybe. And Ezekiel Toon, those are both to check out. Siri, we got some linemen we really got to look at. And anytime you got an Alabama lineman, you really got to think about that. We are in day 3, top of day 3, but we are still in that, you know, you're flinging darts, you know. Bill Belichick's, you know, looking down here. He's like, okay, that's our pick, boom. And it's like, Bill, we can have Mary in, like, next round. It's like, we're going to take him now. I want to make sure I get him. Nobody beating me to the punch. Derek Gaddis. Yeah, we got some interesting pieces. Oh. I'm just going to go back in. That's a quicker way to get back to the top than just, like, you know, sifting through for, you know, a whole minute there. Take a little breather, moment to soak it in.